Hi everyone, Shu Allegra here, and I'm back again with some new friends that I want you to introduce to you so you know what they're doing out there in the world, but also so that you can benefit from what they have to offer. And today I have a new friend with me. Her name is Paulishia, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Well, thank you so much, Hugh, for having me this morning. My name is Paulishia Augillard, and I am the CEO of Polyclinical Services here in Houston, Texas. And what I do is I provide online therapy for individuals and couples, and I specifically specialize in treating anxiety, stress, and depression. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, right down my alley, and especially right now, it's just so, and like we are needed.
Yeah.
What you do is so valuable,
Yeah.
and I know that many people, especially myself included, when I needed help, like sometimes you couldn't find someone locally who aligned with what you're trying to, achieve or try to do,
Hmm.
accomplish. And
Hmm.
it's good to have, people like you and I who are offering services online so that we're
Yeah.
accessible to everyone and anyone who,
That's
who
right.
can benefit from it.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So what is your backstory? Like, how did you kind of stumble upon this? How did you started, doing this?
Yeah, so I've always wanted to be a person to help others ever since I was younger, and I am actually working towards my doctorate degree in clinical psychology because I've always wanted to be a psychologist because I was helped by a psychologist when I was a teenager. So that really solidified the path that I wanted to go on, and I've always been told by family members that I'm an old soul. So everybody would always come to me for advice and things like that, like, oh, you're a really good listener. And so, throughout the years, I just sort of, kept developing on helping other people. But I think that what has really helped me to expand in terms of being a licensed therapist is my own personal struggle with depression. And so many years ago, once I had my last daughter, I developed postpartum depression. And back then I didn't know what it was. I just knew that I wasn't myself. I didn't feel good. I started withdrawing from people. And, that wasn't me. So I reached out and got my own help from a therapist and was able to work through and really identify, okay, Paulishia, you weren't really taking care of yourself the way that you should. Just for me being, a woman, a strong woman of faith, not really wanting to step out and open up myself to somebody that I didn't know about what was going on the inside. So, working through that along with, back then working on my graduate degree, it's been so helpful. And I made the conscious decision of, once I opened up my own practice, I really wanted to focus in on those who deal specifically with what I have overcome. Yeah.
My goodness, yeah, oysters are so like. So for you, it was your last daughter. For me, it was my first daughter, my first child.
Okay.
Yeah, it was this. It was a postpartum depression that never went away,
Yeah.
and then yeah, and then I had to step
Mhm.
out of faith, like you said, ask for help, and the rest is history. And now I
Mhm.
can't imagine not doing what I do, right? Because
Yeah.
I know where I came from, and I value the experience so much that I want to help others not to get as deep as low that as I was, and
Yes.
come help people find those meaningful ways and reasons to continue to live. And
Yeah.
and yeah, so thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing that. And I think those of us who have lived experience, I hear this often where people are like, well, I want to see this and this therapist and this counselor, and they just don't get it. Like they know the stuff, but I can't
Mhm.
connect. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yes, I've been there. I've been
Yeah.
there where I literally have to walk out of a therapist's office. I'm like, this is not working. Like
Yeah.
this is like, I this is wasting my time, wasting their time, and I
Yeah.
had to walk away. And
Yeah.
so because there's so much life
Mhm.
in lived experiences.
Mhm.
Yes, our education is, it's valuable. I won't never take that away. Like, yes, we
Yeah.
need to get those master's degrees, right? We need to
Yeah.
do all we need to do, get certified in all of that license. But there's that kind of this, I don't know how to call it. It's almost like the skills you learn at school, like the knowledge you acquire through education. It's like the framework,
Mhm.
but the strength or the energy that gives life and that helps people transform is that
Mhm.
lived experience.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And I think that, what I always say is that, just like what you said, is that the education, it is important. That is what we have to be able to practice and call ourselves licensed professionals. But at the end of the day, when I work with a client, that part really doesn't matter. And so the foundation that I come from, it's never a hierarchy. It's always collaborative. You're not better than me. Like you see the doctor patient, that's not the model that I work
Mm-hmm.
from, because you are the guider for your own life experience. So for me, I'm just a mirror, and I reflect back to you what you're actually saying to me, so that we can move towards that change if that's what you're wanting to do. But people are not interested in the fluff. I think it has its place, like, okay, I went to this school or whatever, but bottom line, when you're trying to be your authentic self, when you just need help, you're just wanting to connect with that person. Like, how are you going to help me get through this thing that I'm dealing with? And so all of that, sometimes people, come with the title. That's what it looks a certain way. But no, when you're working and you're trying to help somebody, they're not interested in the fluff. I've learned that, being as the professional and being on the opposite side of the couch. So just like what you said, it's so important to connect with who you're actually working with, because if it's not a good fit, that rapport is not developed, then you're not going to get the breakthrough that you need. Mm-hmm.
So true, so true. Yeah, so you touched a little bit on this already, like how you got there and then why you're doing it now. You're kind of helping others who have been where you were. But now that you've been doing it for a few years, like what keeps you going? Like why are you still in this field? Why are you still doing this? And even continue pursuing further education in order to continue to serve?
Yeah, just because that's always been my passion. I know that this is something that God has gifted me with. And so I could not see myself doing anything outside of serving and helping others. And what keeps me going is knowing, as I work with clients, I love to see that the light bulbs go off. I love to hear and see clients, come back with the progress of what they initially came in like, and then how they're going through this journey. And I love to be a part of that journey, because it's so personal and it's so unique to every person that I work with. Being able to like travel down that path with them, it's not only healing to them, but it's healing to me. And so it's a reciprocal thing for me. And so I just could never see myself not helping and not being a light through their transformative process. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So beautifully said. And so you are doing all this good work out there. You're supporting many people.
Yeah.
And so how can we support you in this?
Yeah, so right now I actually have a boot camp. It's not a boot camp. It's called Breakthrough 2.0, and it's a 4-week program in which you will get intensive online training, but you also work with me. You get your strategy session, and so I have a no-cost 30-minute call that people can actually go. And if you will go to the link on my website, it's www.paulishiaaugillard.com. And then you'll see where you can actually schedule your 30-minute no-cost call with me. And what this call is, it's really to give you a screening process of how I can best help you, so that when we get on the call, then I have a pretty good idea of which direction, what's going to be the best resource for you. Because at the end of the day, even if you don't choose to work with myself, I'm still going to give you some right now recommendations for what you're dealing with. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So I guess, for those of the people listening, so once they join the call, they book the 30-minute call with you and say
Yes.
they choose to work with you and join this 4-week program. What does that look like?
So what it looks like is it's based upon what they're actually coming in with. This program is designed to help eliminate triggers, help you to identify things that keep you from living your best life. So you might find yourself feeling overwhelmed, misunderstood, anxious, angry, whatever those triggers are. This program will help you to identify where that's coming from, because it's one thing to know, okay, yeah, when I get around this person, or I'm being irritable, or because I'm at home, I'm not really gelling with my spouse or my children. But it's another thing, okay, now what do I do with that? So past that, we also develop an action plan for you to put in place. And then we're able to talk through, weekly on a 60-minute session about what that process for you to get you from how you're coming in to that breakthrough.
Beautiful, beautiful. So it's an online program, but it's not a group program. It's individual time with
That's
you.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. It's individualized. Yes.
Awesome,
Yes.
awesome. So if someone signs up for the 4 weeks, and let's say they're like, "Oh my, this was so good, I want more." Like, what happens after that? I know,
Yeah.
all these questions can come up in people's mind, and you do
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
good work. I want to
So
make sure they know about all of that stuff.
yeah, so basically, if you are wanting to continue on, then I have programs that you can definitely take advantage of at that time. And the hope is that you will want to continue on to actually scale into a membership, a monthly membership, or I have another specific program that's an 8-week program specifically designed for couples. It's called G-Spot 2020, and that gets really into the nitty gritty in terms of communication and being, sexual vulnerability and things that really keep us from being free with those that we are actually with. Because, during this pandemic, there are a lot of things that's going on that's keeping you away from connecting with your spouse or your significant other. So those are some options that people have, past the 4-week program.
Awesome. So yeah, so everyone listening, honestly, it's the 4 week is there, the 4 week program is there, but if you need more, there's definitely other options to continue working with her so that you can, continue to grow. And I also think sometimes people will come seek help, whether it's through counseling or coaching, and they're like, "Oh, I feel good in the moment," and then they disappear, and then they
That's
crash
right.
again. So you
That's
want to
right.
make sure that you have a maintenance plan, and
That's
this
right.
is, one of the ways that you do that, whether it's through membership or ongoing support with her. But
Yes.
thank you so much. We'll definitely share the
Thank
link to your
you.
website so people can go and click on there. But thank you so much for, being here with me today. And, it was
Thank
so nice
you.
to talk to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you inviting me to be a part of this. And I just send blessings and love and light to you for your continued work in the community and in this field, because it's not easy. I say that those that get into this field, the helping field, healing others, we have to take care of ourselves. And, as we do that, then we're able to be effective. So I just appreciate you for inviting me today.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your kind words.
Thank you.
Mhm.